Hey folks, this is Rhykker, bringing you an update on the big Season 3 exploit in Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. Now, some people argue that this is not an exploit, that this is clever use of game mechanics. Whether that is the case or not, we don't know. For instance, in Season 2, when people first discovered that plus XP gear scales in Greater Rifts the way it doesn't scale in T6, people initially thought that was an exploit, but it turned out it was not. And at this point, it's not yet clear whether this particular behavior is an exploit. However, it would seem that Blizzard will be frowning upon it, and I will explain to you exactly what it is right now. And I'll add that the reason I'm saying this is because this exploit is public. It's already on the forums, it's already on Reddit, so I just want to make sure that you guys are also up to speed on the latest Diablo 3 happenings. Using this exploit, you're able to get thousands, tens of thousands of blood shards an hour. And this gameplay footage here is unrelated. I'm not going to show you the exploit. I have no interest in trying it. Plus, it's so simple that it does not require a visual aid. And what you do is really simple. Load into a game, enter a high-level Greater Rift. So just go ahead and farm whatever highest key you can farm. Open up that Greater Rift, then teleport to town, and go run bounties. Go hunt for goblins, rather. Eventually, you're going to find a blood shard goblin, and when you do, the number of blood shards he's going to drop will actually scale with your Greater Rift level. So you can get thousands of blood shards from a single goblin. And with extreme goblin searching efficiency, people are reporting that you can find up to 9 blood shard goblins an hour. So we're talking about the potential to find 40,000 blood shards an hour. Now remember, Greater Rift level 25 is equivalent to Torment 6, so you have to do higher Greater Rifts than that. Ideally do in the early 40s if you can. It really doesn't matter. You're going back to T6 to look for the goblins. You don't actually have to complete the grift, just get as high a keystone as possible. Now do leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on this. Is this an exploit or is it not? I think the way it's been handled by the community, it's definitely being treated like it is an exploit. And I would be inclined to believe that this is not intended behavior by Blizzard. I don't know why they would set it that the blood shard goblins would scale with Greater Rift, but Blizzard has never been in favor of short, gimmicky runs, and that's exactly what this sounds like. They want you to play the game to have fun. They want the most efficient way to play the game to be actually playing the game and not doing something gimmicky. Because at the very least, whether this is an exploit or not, it's definitely gimmicky. But again, the overall community response has been that this is an exploit. And the way streamers have been treating it suggests they are aware this is an exploit. Some streamers have publicly shown how to do this, while explaining that this is probably exploitative behavior, while other streamers have actually taken down their stream so that they can go and do this. They don't want to get caught doing this, so if you don't want to be seen or caught doing something, you know you're doing something wrong. And if you look at some of the top leaderboard players, you'll see that their number of blood shards acquired is way out of line with where it should be within their seasonal progression. The community response to this has been pretty strong, and some people are calling for petitions or for motions for Blizzard to roll back these players. Blizzard has never banned anyone for something like this, and they likely won't be banning anyone in this scenario either, which is why the petitions, the motions, the movements seem to be to call for rollbacks instead. And again, let me know your thoughts on this. Drop a comment letting me know how you feel. I know that some of you just don't understand the rage, the emotion, the outcry. Some of you respond to this, well, who cares? Well, again, number one, the reason people care is because a season is competitive. You can argue that it's not, but the entire reason that seasons were included in this game was to give some form of competitive element. You might just play it in order to have a reset, but that's not the purpose of the season. The purpose of the season is to have everyone reset to 0, start on an equal playing field, and maintaining that equal playing field, see who can progress the furthest, the fastest. And in order to preserve the legitimacy of any competitive activity, there has to be a perception of fairness. 99% of players don't have a chance at getting anywhere near the top spots on the leaderboards. They can't, because 99% of players don't play this game 5 hours a day. So those who do play this game 5 hours a day, or more for that matter, these are the guys that we expect to be topping the leaderboards. But we could accept that. The casual player can accept that what separates him from the top dogs, the biggest distinguishing factor, is the amount of time invested into the game. But as soon as you throw in some form of exploitative, gimmicky, cheating behavior, that perception of fairness is destroyed. Exploits are to gaming what steroids are to sports. And in various forms of physical competitions, steroid use is often a lot more prevalent than is widespreadly acknowledged. But anytime someone does get nailed on some form of performance-enhancing drug abuse, that's when there's a big public outcry. That perception of fairness is broken. And again, notice that I said from the beginning, perception of fairness and not just fairness. For the most part, the public doesn't really know about the steroid use going on. And in certain physical activities, all the top competitors use steroids. But it's kept hush-hush, and they all do it, so they're all within their own bubble on an equal playing field. And the public can put in their mind, well, if I devote enough time and effort and practice and training, I could get as good as them. There's something admirable in that, whereas the use of a performance-enhancing drug is perceived as illegitimate and is completely frowned upon by the public. In gaming, there are always exploits, there have always been exploits. The question is, what impact do they have on the game and the community? The top players are often the ones who find and use these exploits, and to a degree, they're almost forced into doing that in order to stay competitive with the other top players. I don't envy those guys, because they're forced into a position where they know if they want to stay competitive with the other top players, they have to use the exploit. Because if they don't, they're gonna fall behind. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter how much better at the game you are when there's an exploit that makes that significant of a difference. When you're a group of people who all play 8 hours a day, unless you're gonna choose to forego sleep in order to keep up with the guys who are exploiting, then there's just no way for you to legitimately stay competitive with them. So it's a very nuanced and complicated issue. Again, you have the streamers who were very open and honest and showed to the public, hey, this is what's going on, and this is how you can do it as well, if you so choose to. Now, I respect that a lot more than those who choose to hide the exploits and just abuse of them themselves. I believe information and knowledge should be shared. However, the consequence is the current fallout we're in. People are upset. People are outraged. People are now questioning the legitimacy of all of Season 3. So you could argue that those streamers, that those top players who used the exploit but kept it quiet, you could argue that there's something noble in doing that to not break the illusion of fairness that the public has. But that's a hard sell for me. I don't think they really care what the public perception is. I think they just did it for their own gain, and they kept it hush so that Blizzard wouldn't patch it. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what yours is. Leave a comment. That wraps up this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, share it with friends, hit like, and subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders.